Good morning, everyone, depending on where you are. It's morning somewhere. Good evening. So, once again, we have sort of this thing where I want to do lounge. So, my onboard system does not actually understand or recognize the fact that we are at weekends and I'm broadcasting over the weekend. So, the lights all turn blue, which is fine by me. I don't mind the blue lights. It's kind of cool. Gives a different vibe to the game. For tonight, I am, however, going through and sorting stuff because I had an idea and I kind of want to do. We're taking a little bit of a break from what we were doing before. This is fine. And I am looking at magic card design. So I've got some magic cards that I picked up at some point in time online that I'm going to pull on over here and we're going to sort them and figure them all out. And so then we're going to take a look at them and kind of get an idea of what we want to deal with. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing today. And so that's what we're after. Let's go ahead and swap you all over the mother. So I was working on what we call my Ivy journal. So I'm going to save this as Ivy's journal and say blank page 2. So this is my my D&D character we're working on here. We'll close that. I feel like the service uniform thing, we're still working on it. So I'm going to say save as. I'm going to put this out here. I'm just going to go ahead and just save it as a Clip Studio file. Because then I can keep dinking with it and messing with it because we're getting clearer and clearer on this. Okay. Close that. I'm going to do the same thing over here. We're going to do this too. So save as. I'm just going to call this a Clip Studio file. The idea behind this, I'm just going to save these guys out so that they're here. There, close them. We'll do something today here. A poker card on this one. So the poker card, single card template. Right. I'm going to open that. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we're going to talk today about game design. So Twitch is just twitching you, huh? Hello, Brent. Oh, man. I did this to my eyes, and now, like, my eyes are all like, oh, thank you for the rest. And I'm like, okay. So, you guys may have known, and we're just doing, don't panic, Brent. We'll get back to work on this stuff here. Just taking a little bit of a breather tonight because I was looking at something and coming up with some ideas. So that's fair. That's totally fair. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at just card design. Okay, so we've got a classic sort of magic card here. I like using the Planeswalkers. The Planeswalkers have probably the smallest amount of text on them. But looking at all of the design on these cards, right? And tonight I just kind of want to look at, right? You're panicking. See, this is you panicking. I want to kind of look at some of the just design functions here. Right? So if we take the new layer here, I specifically look at this part here where it's got this kind of back design here and these rigs around the outside. Right? So the amount of data on here, one of the things that everybody has always made fun of, and by everybody, I mean, Troy and Jeff, who playtested Black, they've always kind of, I'm just taking a little bit of a breather. I was gonna come in here and ink another couple of panels, and I was realizing that I was just, I didn't want to do it. So I was kind of like, I'm gonna do some card design and kind of work on that tonight, and it'll make me feel a little bit better. So looking at just, let's actually move this all over, all copy. So this is over here. This is what we call, this is a card template from Superior POD. Right, so when they make their cards, this is a card company that I have worked with before in the past. It would be allowed for now. Pray I do not change my mind again. I think I'll do Airship 27 this week too. The good news is this week we're back to 2 shows for the most part, right? Because we've got the day show tomorrow and then the night show as well, which means I've got twice as much time to do stuff, so I can afford to take a little bit of a break and kind of take a breather here and discuss stuff and get kind of an idea of what things I want to do, So Black was a card game that I had been working on for a long time, and it had no lore underneath it. And I had been working on it, and I'm not kidding about it when I say I've been working on it for a long time. There are versions of Black that go all the way back to 1999. The day show and night show for the next 2 weeks is great. It's going to give me 4 hours a day of work, and that means I can probably get a lot of stuff done. So I'm not as worried. So it's all good. We'll work on that. What I had here, though, I was working on a number of kind of things that I was kind of working on and dinking around with and thinking about, and I had made all of the starships in I had made all of the starships. I'd made the rules and everything like that, but the rules were really opaque and very difficult to deal with. And I'm now I'm just examining this part and going, well, that's interesting. Where it is on everything. What I find fascinating about this whole thing is how much, if I were to put this here and say like that, how much you can look at what is inside their safes. Right? I mean, technically, when I talk about this kind of thing, I'm just going to go ahead and flatten this out. Because all this is one thing, right? Because it's talking about all the different pieces. So actually, let's go ahead and take this card and put it to the card edge. Because it's gonna cut. That's what it's saying right here. So these are the actual straight up design pieces. I do all of my card borders as they are in martial arts, so that I can remember what iteration we're on. And I'm talking about U.S. martial arts, not So the first background we're going to do here is going to be yellow border. Now we're going to kind of look at the interior part of this Wizards of the Coast card. We're going to have a day show and a night show for the next 2 weeks. It's great. We're going to do some Airship 27. I don't know if we're going to do a lot of work on black, which will be the code word for the card game, but I do have sort of a thing going now that I kind of like on this. So, all right. I am looking at kind of this interior design, and I'm liking where they went with this, how it kind of curves around underneath here. If we look at some of the older Magic cards, I don't have any of the really, really old Magic cards, but I've been studying Magic cards for a very, very long time, right? So, Magic cards from 100 billion years ago, don't I? Maybe. Let's see. Whoa. Okay. So we're going to look. Right, Force of Nature 8/8 with Trample. way long time ago. How big were these? Oh, these are the 03 versions of it. So this version of the card was made in 2003. This is one of the earliest versions, but not quite so early. So it was designed for printing. So the cards, the star fields in the background were inverted. Right. And moved on to this version of the cards where they were different in a little ways, but there were a lot of ways different, actually. We still have the same ships going on in here. These were drawings I had done back in the day, which we may still use somewhere along the line. These may be the older versions of ships, and we don't really need coal this anymore. He's back here already. Right, we kind of went back. We went through a number of these iterations. I don't know where we picked up. Had some great, like, weapon systems, which I liked. This was cool. When I started getting into 3D renders and stuff, it's cool. So somewhere I have like the original. So far back in the distance. Not to pick up. These are really, really old. Okay, did not actually bring you onto the show to walk down memory lane. So there's that. Let's see, I'm looking for... They're really old. Oh, okay, so here we go with some of the very, very, very first ones. This is from the 1998 era. Yeah, this is from the 1998 era. some wild stuff here. Okay. So I'm looking to see if I have magic cards. Sometimes I have magic cards. Anyway, I guess it really doesn't matter. Okay, let's go on ahead and move on. The next element that we want to add is this. Add a layer here. This backdrop piece, which gives us a clean line of a clean delineation line. For right now, we're going to make it neon green just so that I know where it is, right? It's going to match there to there. Like that to here, and it actually extends to here, and that's that line. If you take out Nicola Bolas at this point in time, this is what we get, right? I know that's horrible. These colors, they burn your brain. And this is pretty close to where we are on the card that says where the safes are, right? So we don't want any artwork or card information outside the yellow area unless you want it to bleed, to run it off the edge, right? All right, that's the card edge. So if we look at Bolas here, we put him on top. This gives us this nice little border that's about the same size as a Magic Cards border. The cut's going to be here. So here to here. Okay. Force of nature, 8-8 trample. You got it. Critter. Okay. So if we look at this as a base card, and we take a look at where we are with the Magic Card, they've got all this other information inside here. Like a title of the card and things like that. The question really is, whenever you design these cards, there are 3 kinds of cards that are in black. There's what we call the arena permanent, which are the things that play on the table. There are the modifier cards. They modify whatever is the arena permanent. Yeah, I will. When we get to the point where I need artwork, we'll talk. We'll talk to people. But I mean, for a while, we just have to play test the thing. It's going to be play testing. We need a lot of play testing to make sure we're right on this stuff. Right? I mean, because like I've got a couple of things I'm not sure about mechanic-wise. But I have a suspicion it'll work just fine. But then I'm like, what do I know, really? You know, like, you know. And maybe that's, okay, well, I have an idea that I'm fixing something. Actually, I just had an idea. Okay, we're going to do something here. We're going to bring up this. We're going to go over the artist. Administration. Saturn. Look for the Saturn. Okay. All right. Kind of set up this guy here. New raster layer. I think I'm going to go on ahead and just call this upper area right up here. We're going to go on ahead and just assign it. Now, I have a friend who worked for Decipher for many years. A fellow Trekkie who was very big on the Star Trek Decipher game. And one of the things that he had said was that players fan their cards in a certain way. And they fan them using their thumb. And they fan pushing this way. And since the majority of players are right-handed, what the major mistake that Magic had made was it put a critical piece of information right here. All right, we're going to go on ahead and bring this up, and then we're going to use it. Critical piece of information is put right there. Something that should not have been done, because when you fan these cards to the right, the next card sits like this, and you can't read the pay for it, right? How much you have to use to cost. So, when he was talking to me, he was saying put the payment bar here, how much it costs to pay or play the card. So I use this area for something else, which is anything that is deployed on the table. The card is already face up. You already see it. So anything in this zone right here is only on the table. It's interesting talking about card design, because then this is cost. This needs to be my technical pen, right? Because cost. Right there. Then we've got name here. This is the name. Right. And actually what I think I will do with cost is because I think actually what I want to do is this. I'm going to take you, copy you, paste you here because I want to see something. If we talk about just this guy here total, we've got kind of this here going for him. How small can we go before he's too small to be read? Right? So, right, so I'm just making this guy the same size as this. There we go. I'm doing a trading card. And good, how you doing tonight, my dear friend? Good to see you, Donald. So that's small enough that you'd be able to read the icon with these guys. So it's the same size. Size. That's the size we want it to be. So, right, we're moving along. We're doing good. Right, looking at sort of the setup in the rig here. I'm going to do a new layer with all white just so that we don't have a problem with this. So if there is an all white we can use to block out if we need to. And take those off to kind of get an idea of what's going on down here. Okay. Get me home in an hour. Gotcha. That'd be cool. Now, here's the thing about this icon here. It is a little complicated and therefore hard to see when you're this far out, right? Because this would be where you'd be holding the card. That said, I don't really think, this is how much deployment you need to have to get this card playing in the playing field. You lost at poker. Is this the big one with the big pot, though? I mean, is this where you had the... Because if so, I'm sorry, man. So, just wanted you to know I'm sorry. I was gonna say, it looks like we just had like a complete dropout there. I apologize, guys. No idea what's going on. Oh, the big one's July 10th. Okay, so let's pull our blue, because everything is my super comfortable shade of blue, right? So we're gonna do that. Because I like this super comfortable shade of blue. The good guys have always been, in my book, blue and white. So we're going to do blue and white for its icon. The little button is now said one of them. Thank you very much, Donald. For Father's Day, I watched, ironically, The Icarus Factor, which just happened to be the episode we were on, but it was still kind of like, well, that's a thing. It was very funny. So that's a visible icon. You can see that. In fact, I think that I like it better if I did this. And said outline selection. Draw on the outside. So I draw on the inside too on that one. Maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking it's happy. It's a good guy look. It looks good. I like it. So we're going to take all of this and copy. And then we're going to go over here and take a look at this one as a better placement for this guy. Right? Right. Now the question really is, do I really like that? Because I might not. I mean, it's good and clear. We now know that this trading card is, that the colors for this trading card are going to be our shade of blue and white. But as much as I love our blue and white, I'm starting to feel like maybe this blue is a better blue. Right? So let's take a look at our better blue and see whether that looks better, because that looks like a cleaner color and a brighter color. So for the sake of sake of this, we're going to go for that color that's a little bit lighter blue, like so. Let's see if that looks better. Yeah, see, I think that's better. I hate doing that. I mean, this is a good blue. There's nothing wrong with this blue, but this is my blue, right? So I kind of want to use mine, but we will. We'll live. Okay, so over here, paste. We'll replace this one over here we just put in because we want one that's got cleaner graphics. Because anytime you use we'll zoom in. There we go. I'll delete this guy. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll take this blue and we'll go to this green layer back here and make that blue. Right, so it's this richer blue. Right. And that'll help. That'll help a lot. And what I had said, Donald, when we were talking a little bit about this before, a buddy of mine used to work in game design. And he said one of the biggest problems that Magic has as a Magic card is that when they built the game, they didn't have an actual game designer. And so one of the problems they had was they had put all of their mana, which is the thing you need when you play the game, up here in this corner, which forces people who normally, when they fan their cards, they fan them this way. So they're fanning them across this way, like this. So that means that the only part of the card you can see is Nicol Bolas, which has informed the way Magic players play. Because this is actually what you need to know. This is the information you need to know to play the game, but it's going to be underneath a different card. So my friend had said at the time, he said the biggest problem that they had made is that one. So I'm going to put the important piece here so that when you fan the card, you'll have the name and you'll have the thing that tells you how much money it's going to require to pay to play this card, so you can figure out how much it costs to play it. So we will use the Union Saturn as our money for this race of cards for the blue color, which irritatingly in Magic was always like the race the color I never used, and I hated that. And so it's so frustrating. Now moving along to something else I used all the time in black was a randomizer. Sometimes we used and sometimes we didn't. But I'm going to keep it with the design just in case. Okay. At the moment, not using it, but put it on the card design to keep it going with us here. Initially, with this card game, this guy here, which always just had just a little outside to indicate the outside of the card itself, this guy indicated a 1 to 10. Yeah, it did. It really did evolve over time. The randomizer on here started out as a 1 to 10 random number on the upper right hand side of the card, which allowed control over things. So of course it will. Naturally it will. But this randomizer, the concept behind it was that what you had was perpetually the ability to have a random number 1 to 10 show up on the top right of the card. So I could put a number and then say at any point in time, draw a card, and then take the randomizer number and add that to your value to make things occur. And that gives a random effect to the card. So you would have, a random concept come in that you could do some kind of random effects, like my shields are 20, let's say, and your attack is a 5, but it's plus the randomizer. Let's say my shields are maybe probably like 15, I guess. Which means that the little guy that has only an attack of 5 could theoretically draw a card randomly. Could draw a card randomly that would allow you to attack and do damage. So the randomizer thing up here, but it was causing a lot of problems during building, and that was an issue. So we may or may not keep the randomizer. We'll have to see, right? Now we've added this guy up here, which is sort of the, remember this is still a Bellatrix Rising thing, so we're going to make sure that Bellatrix Rising has all of the various things that are notorious for our card game. Not the least of which would be that it acts like the same graphic design as the comic does. Right? Well, and this is where at some point in time for us in this group, we will start working on the various types. No, undo. We will work on various types of design and everything like that, and we'll do this as I have done everything like that. Those are order cards, and we'll get to that. Brian's joining me. Brian's here. I think Brian's sweating though. I feel like Brian's sweating. Brian needs to buy a portable air conditioning unit, I think.
They're $400.
They are. Cost is a thing.
Sorry, I'm a little late.
Well, that's it. You're fired again. I'm sorry.
I know.
Can do. I don't make the rules. It's okay. You're just breathing in your mic, though.
No, that's the
fan's breathing into your mic.
Yeah, that's my desk AC unit.
Yeah. When Brian attacks next time on Fox.
Happy Father's Day, Donald.
Yep. So I had donuts today and watched The Icarus Factor in Star Trek, which I didn't realize was a remarkably Father's Day episode of Star Trek, which was kind of funny. So I'd forgotten how Father's Day it was. So anyway, I'm taking a little bit of a break today and just kind of. I was thinking about coming in here and working on panels, and I just wasn't into it. So I am working on other things today. So how you doing besides being overheated?
It was a day.
Yeah.
It's been a rough day today.
This is not a good day for you and me. Not the world's bestest today. For both of us, it's actually, well, yeah, technically it's I guess it's the second Father's Day for me. But Dad passed away today, a year ago today. So,
yeah.
My dad, being my dad, had the common decency to pass away on Father's Day. So, well, that's going to be nice. Thanks, Dad. Well. So there's that. Not a good day for us. We'll get there. We'll make it through.
So I'm running a little bit late because I was in a streamer's chat and I had a last minute request come through.
Oh, yeah.
And it single-handedly produced one of my best looking pieces.
Nice.
To the point where I showed it to the streamer went, "I'm in danger."
Good night, Donald. Have a good evening, my friend, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Because I can legitimately, like, when it comes to expressions and just getting to the essence of a scene, I am a master at it, according to a lot of people. Like, I can capture that emotion beautifully.
Nice.
It's just the part that they don't like is how thick my lines are, because I do have kind of chunky lines.
Yeah, I think that somewhere along the line, I think that was something that Raph wanted to chat with you about, or something.
Yeah.
I feel like he was like, "Hey, we should talk about that sometime," or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, nothing. It was just a, obviously, you do you. It's art. But if you had a desire or interest,
So
working on that, I don't know.
So the last few weeks, I have been secretly picking apart Marvel and DC art.
What do you mean secretly?
But I've been picking apart the style.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm going to bring up something. Hang on. This was the piece that I just finished tonight.
See, that's much better. Yeah. That's a much better piece. I like that.
And
your pieces suck. I mean, your pieces suck. That's not what I'm saying, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I showed that to the streamer. The streamer goes, "I'm in legitimate danger right now, because if you continue to perfect this style on top of what you can normally do, that is both the things hit in one. That's like both of my favorite things in one artist, and I've never seen an artist be able to do both of those at once."
Nice. The only I have sort of a, I always sort of have a, I don't know, an issue with that modern talking style of, you know, you're a threat. You are, which is it's a backhanded compliment, because what they mean is they mean, you're doing a great job. This is really cool. And I'm like, why don't you just say we're doing a great job?
No, in this case, I am a threat to her pocketbook.
I understand, but that's still, it's like a
Yeah, I know.
backhanded compliment. And it's like, why can't we just say you're cool? You do a good job.
So I had to go through and redraw a little bit. I liked what I had before, but it was too many panels, because the top panel was 3 panels of her just destroying the same things over and over again, and then it was 3 panels of her reaction, and then 3 panels of Briggs' reaction.
Right.
And I think just having the 1 panel up top with the 3 panels of her and Briggs' reactions, I think would do it.
Right.
So I went from 9 panels to 7.
Better. That works.
So how have you been?
I'd say it's not been bad. I started out with forgetting my niece by accident, and so I'm supposed to be taking them to my nibbling. I'm supposed to be taking my nibbling to work, and I spaced them by accident. They are very, very remarkably patient now that they are 18. So they're much more patient with me than they were when they were, say, 15. They're markedly less patient at that point. But my nibbling was fine, and they made it to work on time, and it worked. But yeah, I felt bad. I was like, oh no, I was supposed to help you out here, and I didn't. My beloved nibbling. I like nibbling. This is my new awesomest word ever.
Yes.
So yeah, other than that, I mean, I had donuts today, and I watched Star Trek, and I took a nap. I mean, like, really not a complaining day at all. I just kind of cruised. Like, it was great. Now I'm here doing work, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm necessarily up to do hard work today, but you know what? I'm okay if we're kind of just doing light, kind of hanging out, doing stuff,
Yeah.
So it was cool. Good day, relatively speaking. Like I said,
That's good though.
highest stress point was spacing out my nibbling. So they'll get over it. Well, they're not. They, like I said, good people. They're not even upset or anything. They're just like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm like, it's all right. I only got them there. I got them there like 4 minutes late though, so it really wasn't bad.
So the Avs won.
Isn't it like best 6 out of 42 or something ridiculous that makes it impossible for me to ever determine what they're doing?
4 out of 7. So they have 2 more games. The next game is tomorrow night.
Okay. Well, good going, Avs. My mom would be insane right now. And impossible to deal with.
I asked one of my friends if one of the people he knew who is a mega fan, I asked him if he just happened to abduct the entire Lightning team, and that's why they were beaten like that.
Were they beat really soundly?
7-0.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm not even a hockey person, and even I know that's pretty sucky.
Like,
I mean,
it was
or
a
good,
blowout.
depending on how you, and good how depending on how you look at it. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool. Good job, Avs. That's cool. So, yeah, good of the Avs for doing good stuff.
Yep.
Oh, good, man. Okay, so yeah, there was always designed to be a card game as part of this. You've seen the card game in action. And sort of the design on it, one point in time, 100 million years ago. And the dinosaurs roamed. And so, just doing a little bit of work on this here. It's kind of doing that kind of thing. And, a buddy of mine today posted a video of him driving a 1903 Oldsmobile.
Nice.
Got to be the oldest car I have ever seen. But he had to rebuild the carburetor, he had to rebuild the engine, he had to rebuild all of the pieces. And then he spent all day cranking it because, of course, there was no starter motor, so it was hand crank. And he's like, now I'm up for arm wrestling anybody. Like, because I watched the video and he's out there, and it's so this is the brother of my 4th grade buddy who drives Model Ts. So their dad was out there too, who's kind of like another dad for me. You know what I mean? Like, because
yeah,
it's just a thing.
He's your second dad.
Yeah, because I grew up in his garage, right? So yeah, I'm watching his dad out there standing there, like helping him fire up this old Olds, and man, that Olds is bizarre. I mean, like, it looks exactly like you'd imagine a 1903 Olds. It looks like a horse carriage that has an engine stuck in a box on it. And, so it looks exactly like a horse carriage, except with an engine in it. So he goes out there and crank, and he just like you'd imagine it be. Then he gets in it, and he goes around the block, and it's not going a whole lot faster than you could run,
But he still got it going. He
got it going, and he got it driving, and he said it hasn't driven in his lifetime. Well, he was born in 76, so that means it hasn't actually run since like the 60s, But I mean, if you think about it, even if it hasn't run since 1963, it was 60 years old the last time it ran, at that point.
Yeah.
Now it's 120 years old, you know? It's like, whoa, that's serious. That is an old car. It's so cool. That's probably the oldest thing I have ever seen running. It's so cool. As a mechanic person,
awesome.
Yeah, as like somebody who loves mechanical things, I still have such a love for cars, and it's just, I know it's ridiculous. And then I posted there, and like he also he took a 1922 Model T truck, and I was picking up my nibbling yesterday, and I stopped at Club Crest, and down the street went this 22 truck, followed by Lizzie, which is their Model T. It's a 27 Touring. And I could recognize that car anywhere. Literally, I've been riding in that car since 4th grade. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, hey, it's Lizzie, right? Because I can tell that car anywhere.
Yeah.
So I posted on there, I was like, hey, I saw you in a truck I'd never seen before, and Lizzie. And I was like, it's Lizzie, and I know that. And he posted back there, and he goes, do you have a garage? Do you want it? And I'm like, no. But why? And he's like, because this was the original grocery truck for the grocery store. It was on Tennyson and Federal.
Oh,
and
wow.
Not only is it a cool Model T, but it's got a story. And I'm like,
and it has no, it's even better than that. Not only does it have a story, it has a connection to Denver.
Right? It's a historical piece.
It's a historical connection to Denver. That's what makes it even cooler.
Isn't that wild? Like, that's what it was. It was a Model T truck. The sides roll up, and you put your groceries in the back. And you you put the little baskets of groceries, and then you just drive it around, and then people come over and they buy your groceries off the back of it. Oh man, though, what a car! I saw it and I was like, man, because he's like, I need to find a home for it, and he keeps doing that to me because I'm one of the few people that actually would take care of a Model T and care about a Model T. The problem is, I don't think Mariah would be so hot on it. I could convince her, but we'd have to find a home for it that was decent. It ended up being in my garage all the time. And it's hard to put T's in the garage because they're actually taller than you think they are. You have to like stand on the running boards so that you add weight to it so that they'll clear a garage door. Oof. And once they get inside, they're okay, but they have to clear that little lip. They're just slightly shorter than that lip. So they're actually huge. You never think about how huge they are, but they're huge. So anyway, yeah, that was a thing. That was this weekend's kind of interesting excitement. I was like, woo! I mean, like Lizzie and Hesperus are the two cars that they've got. One's a 27 Touring and one's a 22 Touring, I think it is. But they're both Model Ts. But Hesky has a starter. Lizzie doesn't. So getting Lizzie cranked up and starting is kind of hard because you got to go out there and get in the front and then hit the crank and whack, you know. Whereas Hesperus actually has an electric starter and you can just push the starter button on the floorboard. So these are the cars I grew up with as a kid. So this is what my childhood was. This was like Model Ts and random bizarre cars. They've also got a 67 fastback Mustang with a 302 with a quad 4-barrel. It's one of those, you have to start the car off in second gear because if you use first gear, it just burns the tires clean off because it's just got so much power.
Yeah.
Blow the tires clean off of it. And so you have to start in second gear because it's just overpowered like there's no tomorrow. And it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful car. Then they have two 1950s era, 55 and a 57 Chevy. You know what I mean? Like these guys have the cool metal. So two T's. For a while, their mom was driving around in an 84 Firebird, I want to say. So Kit, Knight Rider. Going around in a Knight Rider car, and that was cool. So Yeah, some seriously beautiful metal. I've gone to car shows over the years with them. I've gone to, I've had to. So it's one of those things. Whenever I talk about like, getting under the hood of a car in my teen years, I'm serious about like what I used to do. It's like wild. Like I had a great childhood under those cars. I lived a lot under those cars. It was great. And even my cranky piece of junk 1974 Chevy Vega had so much great stuff going on. Okay, what am I doing here?
I sent you a Facebook chat real quick.
You're like, stop talking. I am loading Facebook now. I am still loading Facebook right now. Uh-oh. Aww. Can I make comments about it, or do you want me to keep it quiet?
You can make comments about it, but don't be specific.
Vague. Be vague.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, just looking at the weight distribution of that particular drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, weight distribution?
Well, but here's the thing is that she's a mother, but she's very comfortable with the size of her body. So her character kind of reflects that she's curvy.
Curvy is not a problem. I have no issue with curvy.
So I think that outfit would actually really accentuate that.
Hey. No problem. I just was like observing.
Yeah. No. I got you.
One of those things that I notice happens a lot, which is the thing about people being super top heavy. I don't know. I don't have as much of a problem when it's a lady that did it. I have more of a problem when it's men because like some men just definitely needed to be breastfed when they were kids or something. I don't know what their deal is.
I agree.
If it's a lady that designed that character, I got no issue.
I don't know. Hang on, let me look. Because this is from a game.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the other problem.
And it features waifus all over the place.
Also, long, arduous discussions about waifus.
Yeah. I can't do a thing with my hair. But I've been practicing with some of the characters in there, like some of their costumes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and applying that to different streamers.
Okay.
And I've been learning and breaking down that style, along with trying to learn other styles and things. and I think it's starting to work out in a really interesting way.
Just gelling up.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's also increased how long it takes me to draw something.
Also a risk, I think. Yeah.
But you know what? Not a bad one.
No.
You guys have been trying to get me to slow down for years now.
Yes, we have, for your own good. I feel like when I say it, I should add, "This will hurt you more than it'll hurt me," or something. Anytime I say something that's like for your own good, I always feel like it's, you gotta add that part. Otherwise, it's just you're not being dad enough.
So I assume your gaming went well last night?
It actually went really great. We had a fundamental break in the laws of physics, and that was awesome. So one of the characters used a spell they haven't used before. They used Banishment. We're playing Expedition to Barrier Peaks, which is a D&D module in which essentially you find a crashed spaceship. So the fun of the adventure is you have a bunch of these medieval D&D characters fighting robots and androids and lasers and things, which is part of the humor and the fun of the adventure. And I have twisted it so that it's not operating the same way it was. But yeah, one of them, there were 4 robots, police robots in the room. And so the cleric banished one of the robots, but it's a concentration spell. So the robot vanishes. Well, the other robot, not knowing any better, just kind of rolls into the fight. So rolls right into the same spot. And then smacks the cleric, which did like a significant point of damage, enough that she lost concentration. She broke her concentration, which means the banishment spell ended. Which means the robot that was banished to another plane suddenly comes back in the exact same spot as the other robot that had rolled into its spot. Now you have violated Newton's laws. So, no 2 objects can occupy the same space at the same time. There was an explosion. It blew both of them up. It did damage to all the players. It ruined the room. It was beautiful. Like, violating space and time. It was beautiful. That was a remarkably entertaining and very, very lovely aspect of that game. It made me so happy.
So you play D&D, right?
No.
You don't.
I'm just being an ass. Yes.
So
I mean, this was all a discussion about D&D, so I mean that was kind of like yeah.
So do you know much about Xanathar?
No.
Okay, so Xanathar is a beholder.
Right.
And he is the main person in charge of the Thieves Guild.
Okay.
So he is a big enemy in D&D.
Okay, now wait a minute. So Xanathar Thieves Guild to what city? Because, like, there are a number of cities.
Waterdeep.
Waterdeep, okay.
So, one of the things with Xanathar is Xanathar has a goldfish that he loves. He loves his goldfish. And
I have a bad feeling about this drop already.
they have had to replace that goldfish several times with different goldfish because the goldfish would die. But Xanathar still thinks it's the same goldfish. Because his guild is keeping it from him.
Yes, that doesn't surprise me.
So here's the meme. Wizard, you didn't steal the tome from Xanathar's office, did you? Rogue, no, just the goldfish.
Uh-oh.
And it's the picture of the woman that they always have the what on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's smiling, but she has this terrified look on her face. It just goes, the what?
That's awesome. I would totally make an adventure of us stealing Xanathar's goldfish. That seems like a thing that has to happen someday. There we go. Just taking kind of an idea of what's going on here. Right. Kind of looking at the design of where Nikolai Bolas has got Nicole Bolas or whatever. Got this sort of subunit here. Talks about. Now, see, I kind of feel like I made it lower. I'll start over. Or well, maybe I won't start over. Maybe just do this. Because I'm looking at like how the magic card uses its real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Because if nothing else, as we were just saying, they've got years of practice, so might as well use it to our advantage if we can.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, you might as well just go through and dissect what you can from these different places.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're successful.
Yep. I feel like this is mid-card right here, so might as well use this as the mid-card piece. They would know where mid-card is pretty solidly.
So, what is your hopes for this next week?
Well, this next week we're going to be working on Airship 27 some. I'm going to, of course, we get to go back to 2 times a day, so I'm going to have some more time to do work than I did the last couple of weeks. So we're going to try to complete some of those things we were working on, So I'm going to be working on Airship 27, be working on getting sort of the various kinds of panels done because might as well keep working on paneling. So that'll be a thing. So we'll do that. What about you? What you gonna do?
I continue to pursue this. And then who knows?
Right. How are we doing on your 4-paneler?
My 4-paneling.
For the contest. The record.
Oh! Have I not shown you that?
No, I mean you were showing me it was work. You were working on it, but did you work on it yesterday while I was in game?
Yes, but not on stream.
Yeah, well then, there you go.
Here. Hang on. I've sent it to you.
All right. Sent it to. Okay, nice. So is it just these 4 pages? These are the 4 panels?
Yeah, it's the 4 pages.
I get it now. I've always seen this as 1 page, but now I totally get it.
Yeah, no, it's 4 pages. And I have it together so you see the record.
Right. That's fascinating. The only critique I have at all of this is just that the needle of the record is in an impossible position. But other than that, I don't know how you'd fix it.
Which one?
The needle, I mean, the needle of the record arm.
Oh, the one that's breaking up 2 panels that I'm having the needle.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I can't think of any way to make it work otherwise, so it's not a problem.
I just needed it to. I just needed it to stretch out to break the panel up.
I get it. I mean, like I said, but the needle of a record player would never be pointed
out like that.
Yeah, it'd never be pointed out like that. It needs to drag across the record, obviously. So
yeah, no, and originally I had it tucked in, but it left a gap, and I felt that somebody would take that and miss that it was supposed to be 2 panels.
Mm-hmm.
So I extended it out. So it was a stylistic choice. Holy shit. God damn. Yeah, I think a couple of major changes started to happen with my art, and one of them had to do with vector. Like, there's something about switching to vector which changed a lot of things.
Vector's insane. Like, it's really useful.
Okay, that works. Maybe just thin that up just a little bit, so it's like that. Damn. Wow, that looks really good.
I like it. I like where you are. Liking that a lot.
I'm gonna hit the end of this book, and you're just gonna watch the time travel of the art going from one scale to the other as the pages turn. It's like, holy crap!
That's
to this
the nature
guy.
of things, though. I feel like that's the way it goes, you know.
Gay without mercy. Oh god. So you heard about the relentlessly gay thing, right?
Relentlessly gay. What does that mean?
So
No,
this,
yeah, obviously not. Since I'm like, what? What hurts?
so apparently this person got a message from her neighbors that, or their neighbors, I should say, that their yard was relentlessly gay, and they need to tone it down because there are children there are good Christian children in the neighborhood.
I like the I'm tolerating you, but I want you to know that you need to stop because I'm being the right
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Attitude here, yes. Relentlessly gay, huh?
And that their yard was relentlessly gay. And a lot of people were like, that should be my band name.
Right?
Like,
That sounds like a band name. That's so awesome. Relentlessly gay. What the hell? People. Oh, God. Some people.
it's like, if I ever got something like that, I would up it. It's like, challenge accepted.
I would like write it like an intentionally misunderstood it or intentionally have misunderstood it. So it would have been like, dear Barbara or dear Karen, I understand what you were trying to say about my yard not being gay enough. So we were feeling like that was a little uncomfortable. However, at your urging, we have decided. You know what I mean? Like, that would be where I'd go. And then they'd have to spend the entire time going, no, that's not what I meant. And it'd be just much more fun. That would be where I would head. That is exactly the way I would head. You know, like,
time to break out the rainbows and sprinkles.
Yeah, right. I guess we're gonna have to like upgrade to rainbows and sprinkles, and I mean, you know, we understand that was what you were after, and so we appreciate what you were trying to say. Therefore, see, this is the thing. This is where Mike Davis comes out in full force in my brain. My father's attitude of being super snarky, because he wouldn't put up with that shit.
No.
Like, what? But my dad was never one to do violent. He was always one to do like way snark. Hysterical. Would have added things like, we understand that you want us to set a good example for the neighborhood, and so we will try to up the amount of things that we have out there that it represent homosexuality and homosexual lifestyle. It was so funny. Oh man, I would happily just like keep going, and it wouldn't let up.
It'd be utterly fantastic.
I mean, because I wouldn't be able to let that go. I wouldn't. I just, there'd be no way I could let that go.
Well, because it would start, you would honestly, you would start with, okay, we'll have the generic LGBTQ flag flying, and then you'd have a flag for each of the different ones.
Sexualities.
Go, yeah. God, this new style that I'm trying to go for is a lot rougher than my old style.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like the fact that my old style, I could swipe and I would get this nice, clean, one-shot line.
Well, there's no reason to abandon your old style. Don't.
No, I'm not.
Pressure yourself into something goofy because, you know, you're like, oh, you know.
No, I'm not. It's
okay, just making sure, because like you have to live with you.
Yeah. No, it's just this new one I'm trying to get a handle on, because it's a much like I'm doing short bursts of line, and that's a little different. You know,
I'm with you.
it's not bad. It looks fantastic, but it's different.
Right, and it messes with your sense of universe.
And it messes with my sense of, well, this line doesn't look right.
Right.
But then when I back out, it's like, oh, that looks amazing.
Right. That's what it looks like.
But I'm up here, and it's like, God, these lines look like crap. Because I'm like right up against it. But they have so much more life now.
Yeah. I had a visit from George, but then George left. He's got better things to do, I guess. You know, George. Who George is. So there's that. Okay.
George is as George does.
Yep. Always will be. So this is raised, but only a little bit. It looks like it's raised up. There you go. Alrighty.
So there's a. Have you seen the writing for the new Black Thor?
No.
It's a Miles Thor. Oh my God, it's horrendous.
Like bad writing?
Like it's it's like a white guy is trying to write black gangsta speech,
Oh no. Oh no.
and doesn't understand
The culture. We were just
speech,
talking about that, weren't we?
the culture. Yeah, and it is horrendous.
That's brutal.
And
And they're
then
probably
apparently it came out that their main what's up?
I was just saying, and then they're probably getting eaten alive. Rightfully
Yeah.
so.
Well, and then it it turns out that their main editor in chief got his job by faking the fact that he's white, but he was faking that he was Asian, and he got the editor in chief job at Marvel. It's
I'm-
like,
So because
There's a
they
lot of
wanted
scummy things
diversity,
here.
or what was the story there? I mean,
what?
are they looking for diversity? I'm trying to figure out why. I mean, why?
I don't know what they're looking for.
Right?
But the fact that the guy
Misrepresented.
faked being, yeah, and then still has his job, like he hasn't left that position. It's like, that's kind of scummy.
Yeah, it's pretty scummy.
Holy hell. Wow.
I'm just trying to figure out why. I'm having a hard time with the why. I mean, I get that misrepresenting your race is an issue, but I'm trying to figure out why it was important for them to know that he was Asian. Like, would they not have hired him if he was white? If so, we do have sort of that. There is a complaint about that going on, which I can kind of see people complaining about, which is, not hiring the people that are white solely so you can have a diversity cast, sort of thing. I can see that being used against them. So I'm kind of wondering whether that's a thing that occurred. If so, I'm kind of like, ooh, that could be ugly too, and you don't want that to happen.
Like, no matter how you look at it, this is bad.
This isn't a good situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Occurred.
The power of that panel.
It's a great panel. I like it. You're doing good. You're doing good work.
I got a compliment the other day that this reader loves the series because of how satirical I get regarding the characters.
Right. Let's look at some of the background here. So it looks like they just have sort of what looks like they have a different pattern for each unit in here, and this is their gold pattern. So I'm gonna turn off everything and look here at the merge together. Oh, this guy here. Well, let's look at some of our patterns. Like what patterns? No patterns. Japanese patterns, flower patterns, textures, backgrounds, artificial, maybe. That's good.
Holy hell.
Snow rabbit, cat. These are totally patterns we can use in the background. But it does make me think maybe I should use some of the patterns I've got in my reference folders. Like watercolor patterns might not be bad, because I did them. They're mine, and they would give kind of.
Speaking of which, is Pepper ever going to come back?
I don't know, right? Like, I'm like, where are you, Pepper?
It's like, I miss Pepper. I miss Colton. Like,
Yeah, I'm kind of like, where'd they go? Oh, wow. Like, that's super dramatic.
what? Huh?
That went super dramatic on me. Put it in the watercolor here, it just looks really cool and nice. Just a very nice, sort of pleasant background to this card. don't know, maybe. Maybe. I don't think it's got enough pattern. I feel like it's not sharp enough to tell you what's going on. The watercolors would be a great thing, but I don't think that's not gonna be what I want. It's gonna be a little bit wilder than that. Maybe it's the star map I wanted back there. Maybe that actually is exactly what I'm looking for. I've done a zillion star maps.
Yeah.
Cannot help to use some of these old star maps that I'm never going to use. I guess that sort of sounds defeatist. It's not. I'm just. No, even that doesn't give enough. So what I'm looking at when I look at here is this background texture right through here. That's something else going on entirely. This just needs to be a pattern of some sort. So let's take a look at the pattern. What patterns do I have that I can use? We have about 6 or 7 minutes left.
Yeah, I'm not going to be finishing up this tonight.
No, I figured not. Yeah, I agree. I am now doing my walks with Alex first thing in the morning because of the temperature.
Yeah.
At some point in time, I'm not going to be able to handle that kind of temperature anymore.
Well, and it's getting hot out fast.
Yeah. That's better. It's a better thing. Could start there and then go with the watercolor on top of it, maybe. Or maybe stars. So that looks kind of cool, actually. Not going to lie. That's probably pretty close to what we're after. For the comic, it also fits. Not actually opposed to this. This looks pretty good. Yeah. That was fun. A fun excursion for the night. Messing around with cards. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm OOH. I'm going to go to bed. Tomorrow morning, I got to get up and
Yeah, I'm gonna go
get
right
back
there with
online.
you.
If you wish to join me tomorrow, obviously, you may. So, I will see you tomorrow, either tomorrow morning or tomorrow night after Geek Tank.
Sounds good.
Cool. Good night, my friend.
Good night.